All right, let's jump right in. We've all been hearing the buzz, the nonstop talk about AI in the classroom. But what if we've been asking the completely wrong questions this whole time? See, this explainer isn't really about using AI, it's about shaping it. We're going to dive into a really powerful new idea, how we can take the reins and make AI work for us on our own terms. Okay, so let's set the stage. AI isn't some sci-fi concept anymore, right? It's here. It's in our schools every single day, and it's bringing this incredible potential, but also some really, really big challenges.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it in the hallways, right? Students huddled around a screen, getting instant answers. Your colleagues whipping up a month's worth of lesson plans over a single cup of coffee. It's just, it's the new normal. And we're all just trying to figure out how to handle it.
And this really captures the huge trade-off we're all making. On one hand, you've got the incredible promise of AI, making everything more efficient, personalizing learning, giving instant feedback. But there's a flip side, a hidden cost. We're losing sight of how our students are actually thinking. And these tools, they operate in what the research calls a pedagogical vacuum. Basically, they have no clue about our curriculum, our teaching philosophies, or our goals.
So that gets us to the real heart of it. The problem isn't AI itself. So what is it? What's going on with these tools that's creating so much friction for educators?
Well, the core issue actually has a name, and it's a big one: the autonomy crisis. This is that moment when the tech starts calling the shots, when it starts making decisions that should belong to the teacher. It's when AI grabs the steering wheel. So why is this happening? It really boils down to four critical things that are just missing from most AI tools out there. They have zero connection to your actual curriculum. They aren't built on any real learning science. The personalization is pretty superficial because they don't know your students. And here's the kicker: they end up undermining your professional autonomy as an educator. And look, this isn't just some abstract academic idea. This quote from a teacher in the study, wow, it just gets right to the heart of what so many of us are worried about. When the tool spits out an answer too fast, it can totally short-circuit the struggle, the brainstorming, the very things that build real critical thinking. So here it is, the official definition. The autonomy crisis is what happens when we, as educators, go from being professional decision makers to just end users. We become operators of a black box algorithm. We're not in the driver's seat anymore. We're just passengers. Okay? But it absolutely does not have to be this way. This is the big pivot point. We're done diagnosing the problem. Now we get to talk about a powerful new way forward. It's time to completely reframe this conversation. This right here, this is the question that could change everything. What if we just stopped being passive consumers of these tools? What if we became active shapers? Instead of bending our teaching to fit the tech, what if we demanded tech that fits our teaching? And that's the whole idea in a nutshell. The answer isn't to panic and ban AI. No way. The real solution is to push for a whole new category of tools. AI that is built for education, not just dropped into education. So how do we actually do that? Well, it starts with a new way of thinking about teacher control. And it's built around two really brilliant metaphors: the teacher as the architect and the teacher as the conductor. Think of it like this. On one level, you're the architect. This is where teachers actually get a say in designing the tool itself: what it does, what it looks like, how it functions. Then, on another level, you're the conductor. In your own classroom, you're the one deciding how that tool gets used, when it gets used, and for what purpose. You're orchestrating the entire learning experience. Here's a great way to picture it. It's like a GPS. A normal one just gives you one road. That's it. But a tool that respects your autonomy is like a GPS you can customize. You can tell it to avoid highways, or maybe you want to find the most scenic route. The tool serves your goals, not the other way around. Or how about this one, autocorrect? It drives us all crazy, right? Because it has no idea about our context. But just imagine an autocorrect you could actually train, one you could feed your own course vocabulary or your students' most common mistakes. Suddenly, it becomes a real partner, offering helpful suggestions that you're still in charge of. This might be the most powerful analogy of them all. Think about teaching a kid to ride a bike. You're right there, you're holding on, providing that support, but you are always the one who decides when to ease up and when to let go. You have total dynamic control. That's the kind of relationship teachers need to have with AI. Okay, so we've got the framework: architect, conductor. It sounds great. But what does this actually look like day to day?
What are the specific features that teachers in the study said they really need?
It really comes down to these 3 key things. Number 1, configure. You have to be able to tune the AI, to train it on your own course materials, to set the ground rules. 2, monitor. You need a window into how your students are using the tool, to see what's happening. And 3, assess. The AI should give you insights that support your professional judgment, not try to replace it. Now check this out, because this is just brilliant. It shows you what happens when you give teachers control. This teacher said they actually wanted to increase the AI's errors, its hallucinations, to force students to think critically and check sources. I mean, that's turning a bug into a feature. That is pedagogical genius, and it only happens when the teacher is in charge. And that whole monitor function, this is what we're talking about. Gen AI analytics isn't about spying on students. Not at all. It's about getting that visibility back. It's about seeing where a student is getting stuck, what kinds of questions they're asking, and knowing exactly how you can step in and help. It's about targeted, timely support.
So what can you do like tomorrow? Well, if you're a teacher, start making a list of where the tools you're using right now are falling short. If you're an administrator, start grilling your tech vendors. Ask them the hard questions about teacher control and configurability. And if you design these tools, you now have an incredible new blueprint for building the future.
You know, for the last few years, our entire profession has been obsessed with just one question. It's been a reactive question, a passive question, really just focused on how we can adapt to whatever new tech gets thrown at us.
But that's the old question. Now we have a new one, a much better one. It's an active, empowering question that puts educators right back where they belong, in charge of the technology, and most importantly, at the very center of learning. This is the question that's going to define everything that comes next.